You are 18 when the collapse happens. The markets crash first, before anyone understands why. Digital currencies evaporate. Banks lock their doors. By the time the infected emerge from hospitals, infrastructure is already hemorrhaging. You're working retail when the sirens start. Minimum wage. No savings. No plan. Within a week, currency becomes theoretical. What matters is what you hold in your hands. You learn trading by accident. A neighbor offers you canned food for your generator. You counter with bottled water. He adds a flashlight. You add batteries. This negotiation feels more real than anything the old economy ever was. You're 18 and you've discovered that value is determined by immediate need, not supply chains you'll never see again. Level 1, the barter survivor. You're surviving on trades at the lowest rung. The settlement is 40 people in an abandoned shopping mall. You scavenge dead zones, homes where owners didn't make it. You find things, clothing, tools, medicine, jewelry that no one wants but you take anyway because you don't know what's valuable yet. You trade everything for food. Your bartering philosophy is simple: if it keeps you alive another day, it's worth the price. Martha runs the food distribution. She's 50, methodical, and she knows everyone's strengths. She tells you that you trade emotionally. You see a starving kid and undervalue your supplies. You need to think like the old world thought, in terms of scarcity and leverage. You resist this at first. The old world got you here. But Martha's right. Sentiment is a luxury. You start calculating differently. You trade a working bicycle for 2 weeks of protein rations. It feels wrong. That bike could have been used for transport, but Martha would have given you 1 week for it. You negotiate it up. This is your education. You're learning that every transaction is a conversation about value, and most people don't know how to have that conversation under pressure. By month 3 at level 1, you've accumulated small capital, preserved foods, medical supplies, ammunition. Ammunition becomes your first real currency. Not gold. Not diamonds. Ammunition. Everyone needs it. Everyone wants it. You start accepting it in trades instead of food. This makes you dangerous. Other people notice when you're accumulating power. Someone tries to steal from you. You're young and they think you're soft. You're not. You've learned that showing weakness at this level gets you killed. You fight. You win because you're hungrier. Afterward, you understand something new: trading isn't just economics. It's power dynamics dressed up as negotiation. Level 2, the merchant operator. You're 22 now. The settlement has grown to 200 people. Structures have emerged. There's leadership. There's organization. And there's you, someone who understood early that control of resources meant control of survival. You've moved beyond simple barter. You've established a trading post in a cleared storefront. You buy low and sell high using the same supplies, but now there's structure to it. Martha is your unofficial advisor. She tells you that you're becoming what she warned about: someone who profits from desperation. You tell her that's not profit, that's economics. She looks disappointed but doesn't argue. Your first significant trade involves medicine. You'd accumulated antibiotics, painkillers, and bandages. A family arrives at the settlement: father, mother, sick child. The child has infection risk. The parents trade everything they have. Their entire survival kit. Weapons. Food stores. 3 months of resources. For medicine that costs you almost nothing because you'd taken it from a pharmacy corpse months ago. The child recovers. The parents are grateful. But you're troubled by something you can't name. The transaction was fair by market standards. They got what they needed, you got what you wanted. But the asymmetry bothers you. They were desperate. You knew it. You priced accordingly. You rationalize it: if you hadn't been there, the child would have died. You were their only option. You saved a life and received compensation. That's not exploitation. That's trade. But the words feel hollow even as you think them. At level 2, you've learned that capital accumulates. You have ammunition, preserved foods, fuel, medicine, tools. You have leverage over people who have nothing. Leadership begins listening to your opinions about resource allocation. They ask what trades are necessary. What supplies are critical. Your knowledge becomes power. You're 22 and you've learned that information is the highest form of currency. Level 3, the settlement authority. You're 26. You're part of the council now. The settlement has stabilized into something resembling governance. There are rules. There are systems. And there's you, the person who understands distribution better than anyone. Trading at this level isn't individual transactions anymore. It's strategy. You negotiate with other settlements. You determine what gets exported, what gets hoarded, what gets used as leverage. You're trading entire economies now, not individual supplies. A settlement 15 miles north contacts you. They have fuel but no medicine. You have medicine but fuel is running low. A fair trade would be balanced. But you know their situation better than they do. Their fuel situation is critical, more critical than they've admitted. You offer trade terms that are advantageous to you. They accept because they're desperate. You tell yourself it's business. The truth is more complicated. You're using information asymmetry to extract maximum value. They don't know what you know. You exploit that. It works. It always works. And it bothers you less each time. At level 3, you've developed relationships with other trader operators in different settlements. There's an informal network. You trade information about resource locations, infected movement patterns, settlement vulnerabilities. Some of these transactions are charitable. You share information that helps people survive. Others are transactional. You trade a warning about infected in the east sector for access to a fuel cache. Leadership asks your opinion on whether to accept refugees from a collapsed settlement. You calculate, more people means more consumption. Resources are finite. You recommend against it. They listen to you. 50 people are turned away. You learn later that most of them died. You tell yourself you made a logical decision based on available resources. You try not to think about the faces. Your mother contacts you through the settlement communication system. She's in a northern compound. Resources are running out there. She's asking if there's anything you can do. You calculate what she's really asking, for you to send supplies, to use your position to help her. You think about it. You think about the math. You think about what it would cost your settlement. You tell her you'll see what you can do. You don't send anything. You tell yourself the logistics are complicated. You tell yourself you can't show favoritism. You tell yourself a lot of things. Your mother dies that winter. You hear about it through a trader passing through. You feel something break inside you, but you don't let anyone see it. Level 4, the regional power. You're 30. You control resource flow across 3 settlements. You're not official leadership, but you might have more actual power. You decide what gets traded where. You manipulate prices by controlling supply. You've become wealthy in the new economy. You have security. You have comfort. You have everything except the ability to sleep without medication. Trading at this level is war dressed up as negotiation. You're playing settlements against each other. You restrict supplies to one to drive prices up. You flood another with resources to collapse their local economy. You're consolidating power. This is what the old economy looked like for people who reached the top. You're experiencing it now. A young trader approaches you. He's 18. He reminds you of yourself. He's idealistic. He believes trade should be fair, should be ethical. You see something in him you've lost. You try to explain how the system works. He doesn't understand yet. He will. You make a trade that changes everything. Another settlement has clean water, a rare commodity. You need it. They're asking for ammunition and medicine. It's a fair trade by any calculation. But you know they're infected. All of them. Symptoms are showing in their leadership. You have 3 weeks before that settlement becomes a dead zone. You make the trade anyway. You get the water. They die. You tell yourself you didn't kill them. You traded fairly. They made a choice. But late at night, you know the truth. You used their desperation against them. You traded knowing it was your last transaction with them. You traded to people you knew were already dead. Something shifts. You've crossed a line. You know it. You feel it. You start drinking more. You start making trades that don't make economic sense. You give medicine to a settlement that can't pay for it. You donate fuel to a community that's struggling. Your subordinates think you're becoming soft. You're not. You're trying to balance scales you've spent a decade unbalancing. The final reckoning, you're 30 and you've built an empire on desperation. People know this. Some respect it. Some resent it. Some fear you. You have resources and security and power. You have everything the old world promised would make you happy. You're miserable. Martha is dead now. She died 2 years ago. You were at her bedside. She looked at you and asked if you remembered when you first traded that bicycle. You said yes. She said you used to feel things. She died without saying anything else. You control resources across settlements. You have influence over survival and death. Every trade is a calculation about value and leverage. You've become what the system rewards you for becoming. You're efficient. You're strategic. You're hollow. You're 30 and you've learned that trading at the highest level isn't about goods anymore. It's about power. It's about controlling what people need and using that need against them. You've learned that in a system where survival is currency, the person who understands distribution controls everything except their own conscience. Tomorrow there will be more trades. More calculations. More people desperate enough to accept your terms. You'll make decisions that keep your settlement alive and other settlements struggling. You'll tell yourself it's necessary. You'll tell yourself it's fair. You'll tell yourself a lot of things. But you remember the 18-year-old who traded fairly because it felt right. You remember when transactions meant something beyond numbers. You remember when you slept without medication. You remember when you were still human. You're not anymore. You're 30 and you're everything the apocalypse made you.